Old Ball Coach Barbecue.
Old Coach Barbecue.
Hi, and welcome to Old Ball Coach Barbecue. My name is TJ5. I'm Old Ball Coach. I'm a football coach, barbecue enthusiast, and today I'm going to try to make an easy recipe for you that you can enjoy anytime. Some pork belly burnt ends, and with a lot of my recipes, I'm going to try to make them easy. I'm not a professional. I don't go out on the circuit. I just do backyard barbecue, make it simple, make it delicious, make it that people want more. And that's what we have here with some pork belly burnt ends. I'm going to use an electric smoker today. I could use a Yoder, a pellet smoker, pretty much any type of smoker. My point to show you is that it really doesn't take always the most expensive. You can do it on an electric smoker. So today's recipe is on an electric smoker. I'm going to be cooking these pork belly burnt ends at about 225 to start, and get a nice bark on them, as you can see, and then kind of finish up the process. So if you like what you see, make sure you hit the subscribe button and enjoy the video. Pork belly is the cut of meat that bacon comes from, and has a rich texture and complex flavor. This particular pork belly that I have is about 8.5 pounds. I got it from a big warehouse grocery store, and you want the leaner the better. Skinless if preferred. This one happens to be skinless. And all I'm doing here is cutting these into equal parts. You want it a little thicker than a traditional burnt end would be. 1.5 inches about. Doesn't have to be perfect, but try to keep the cuts as equal as possible. I want to cut these down into individual layers. Once they're all cut down, what you're going to end up doing is kind of cube them. So cut them again into about square little pieces. And again, you're going to do this with the entire cut. This particular cut of meat, I would always prefer it to be a little bit leaner than a little bit fattier. It already has a lot of that already in there. You don't need any more. So when I'm at the store, I try to find the leanest cut of meat that I have. You can trim it if you need to, but really it's pretty ready to go. As long as there's no skin, all you need to do is cut it into lines like I have here in the rows, and then again cut it into cubes. Those cubes should stay about square, and again try to make them somewhat uniform for the cooking process. So the pork belly is going to be part thick ribbons of silky fat, and then we're going to have some reddish pink meat in there, and it's going to be that mixture. Like I said earlier, this is where bacon comes from. It's a delicious piece of meat, and preparing it like burnt ends, it combines two of the best things in barbecue. Basically kind of a bacon and burnt end combo into one thing. That's why these have become kind of the craze. So once you get these all cut up into cubes, as I have here in a second, what you're going to want to do is add a binder. And for this case, you could use anything you have. I'm going to use yellow mustard. I had just a little bit left, so I used the end of the yellow mustard and threw it away. You can use an oil, a lot of different varieties here. I've used in the past a mustard with a little bit more spice to it. Really doesn't matter. All we're trying to do is to connect the rub to the meat itself. And so I just put it all in as much as I can, rub it in, rub it around, go through these and get all the pieces, make sure they're completely coated with the mustard. This is going to allow that rub to really attach and bind and give us that taste of the burnt end that we're really looking for in this combination. Now that the binder has been put to all the pieces, I'm going to add the rub. The rub I'm using today is the Smoking Guns Barbecue Sweet Heat. I really like this rub. It has a nice mixture of barbecue that would be good on chicken. I've used it on chicken, I used it on ribs, I've used it on a lot of different things. This rub is out of Kansas City, and there's just a little bit of heat note to it, which at the end you're going to really feel and really taste. And so all I'm doing is applying it, then I'm going to pick up each cube individually, make sure it's on all sides. I like to do it this way. Number one, it's going to make a pile underneath. I'll show you what to do with that, but it's just a little bit quicker than taking them individually. So add the rub, throwing it on the entire of the pile. I'm going to come back and hit each one of these individually, make sure they have a nice coat on all sides of the burnt end. I'll put a link in the description for that Smoke and Guns barbecue. I don't get paid for this. I'm not endorsed by it. I just really love this stuff. All right, so again, filling those up here. That's what they should kind of look like. I put them on a rack. This rack comes directly from the electric smoker. That way it'll be easier to transport. You could use a jerky rack or a cooling rack as well. I just use the rack directly from it. Now that extra that I have underneath, what I've done here is I'm going to actually take some of the ones that are left, and instead of wasting that through the pour, I just kind of rub them like I would like a cookie dough during Christmas time, picking up as much rub as I can, put them on another rack. I'll be using a Charbroil smoker for this one. I don't get paid for this. This is a smoker I got a bunch of years ago. It's an electric smoker, works great. I'm going to use some hickory chips inside the smoker, and then I got a smoking tube, really cool thing, that I'm going to use some Barbecue Delight apple pellets in to give me some real nice smoke flavor on it. Here's the smoke tube. If you don't have one of these in an electric smoker, I highly recommend them. They give some great taste. So it's lit, about 10 minutes, about ready to blow it out, put it in the smoker. There's the burn ends put in. On the bottom shelf, you'll see that smoke tube providing some nice apple or cherry smoke, depending on what your flavor would be. I cooked these for about an hour at 225, and now I'm doing is just rotating them down through to make sure that they're kind of evenly throughout. Again, already you can start to see the look. They got a nice beautiful color on them. Smoke tubes producing a lot of really pretty smoke, really adding to the flavor of these burnt ends, pork belly burnt ends. So again, been on that for about an hour at 225. I'll check them back in about another hour, do another rotation. They're going to total about 3 hours at 225, and then we'll take them in and wrap them. So right now they're just being rotated through. We'll check back in about an hour. A little slow motion for you. Here they are at hour 2, looking great, some bark developing, beautiful smell coming out of the smoker. Really excited to get these done and try them a little bit. Here they are at the 2-hour mark, looking pretty good. Got a great bark going, smells amazing. Everything that I kind of want them to do. They need a little bit more time, so I'm going to put them back in here after I rotate them, let them cook for about another hour. All right, it's been right at about the 3-hour mark, and these look about done. As I pull them out of here, they have a great bark to them, a great look. Man, I want to eat them right now. Because of the cut of meat, they still need to tenderize, so I'm going to take them in, wrap them up, and really try to reduce some of that fat down and get them nice and tender and easy to eat. So we're going to take them inside, and I'll show you what I do in the wrap process. The color looks great. They're looking right where I want them to be. Now I just need to wrap them up so they can render down and get super tender. You could use a pan for this, aluminum pan. I'm going to actually wrap them in foil. I'll kind of tell you why here in a second. Take these pork belly burnt ends, you'll put them in aluminum foil. You want to put them as tight as possible. Again, the pan is going to create a steam pocket that can lose some of that beautiful bark that we've been working so hard for. And so I like to use put them in aluminum foil. Put as many as you can. All I'm going to add to this is a little bit of apple juice, a little bit of honey, sprinkle a little brown sugar on there, and double wrap it to make sure there's no issues. You want this as tight as possible so there's not a steam pocket in there, and put them on the grill for about 250 to 275 depending on your smoker for about another hour. That's going to really render these down and make them super tender and delicious. I add a little bit of butter, just a little bit to, why not? If you're going to have pork belly, make it as fattening as possible. Add a little butter in there, and that's just going to be a beautiful piece of meat when this is done. Double wrap it up, nice and tight. Try not to leave a lot of air, and we're going to go back on that smoker. It's been just under an hour wrapped up and coming out. They smell and look delicious. They're nice and tender, fall apart if you pull on them. And so now all I want to do is add a little barbecue to give them a little tack. So right in that aluminum foil, I'm going to use some Killer Hogs, the barbecue sauce. This stuff is delicious, goes on anything. Highly recommended for any of your recipes, anything you're trying to do. Killer Hogs, they do it right. Basically anything you get from them, you're going to like. So I just pour some in there, and then I'm going to lightly toss them. Again, they're so tender, you got to be careful. They will fall apart on you. So just pour some in there, lightly toss it. You're going to leave it open, don't seal it back up, and then just put it back in the smoker. You're just trying to get that barbecue to tack up. So I'd only leave it on the smoker for another 25 to 35 minutes at most, and then get these babies in and get eating. All right, we're just getting wrapped up here. Kind of let's review what we've done so far. I got 8.5 pounds of pork belly cut, sliced, diced into cubes. We hit that with a little bit of mustard for as a binder. I added some of the Smoking Guns barbecue rub, the sweet heat. Give it a nice note of a little bit of heat. It's not too much, it's not dramatic at all, but just gives it a nice little hearty heat and a nice sweet taste to it. So we hit it with that. Put it out in the smoker at about 225, 250. We did that for about 3 hours. About every hour we rotated racks in the electric smoker, going from top down to bottom. After the 3 hours, we took them in and wrapped them in aluminum foil, hit it with some apple juice, along with just a little bit of some honey and a little bit of brown sugar and a little smidge of butter. Did that, put it back in the aluminum foil nice and tight for about an hour. After that, we got it back in here, hit it with some of my favorite barbecue sauce, this Killer Hogs barbecue sauce, highly recommended, pretty much for anything, but in this case, it gave it a nice note. Again, touches on that just a little bit of heat, but it really gives it a nice sweet, and those two flavors along with the salty really play off each other. So they're out there, they got another 5 minutes. We're gonna bring them back in, I'll kind of show them to you, and the best part of the show, I get to enjoy the pork belly burnt ends, so stay with me. All right, fresh from the smoker, got a nice little tack to them. Oh, look at those, they're beautiful. Super soft, just fall apart basically, a nice tack to them. Smell delicious, the bark you can still see. Delicious piece of meat. And now that I've waited long enough, I can't wait any longer. I'm taking a bite of this stuff. Oh, that is delicious. What I really like is that barbecue at the end from Killer Hogs. Give it a nice, that's a nice taste to it, sweet, melts in your mouth. It's literally like eating a piece of candy. And again, the rub we started with between the two of them, just has a little bit, real low heat. Nothing that's going to be too crazy, but just a nice note that plays off the sweetness and the saltiness of the pork belly burnt ends. Man, that was really good. Do yourself a favor, cook these right away, cook them a lot, cook them often. Hope you enjoyed the video. It's my first video. If you like, hit the subscribe button, follow. I'll be sending out more videos using different smokers, different recipes, and I'll try to throw in some a little bit different. So that's all I got here from Old Ball Coach, and keep barbecuing. That's good. Smells so hot.
Teeth working.